What's up, guys? Kyler Murray is officially a Minnesota Viking. Signed the deal Thursday. He's wearing the number 1. And our only question for tonight, not our only question, but who's going to be the starter for the Minnesota Vikings in 2026? That and so much more. Welcome to the Sideline Podcast. My name is Kevin Showalter. That's Jared Booker. If you love talking about sports, building community, hit that subscribe button on YouTube. We officially, to the folks out there who enjoy the portrait view on YouTube, we gave you the axe tonight. Hopefully YouTube doesn't can us for that, but it's just too much chaos trying to navigate a vertical and a landscape stream at the same time.
Just turn your phone sideways.
Just turn
like
your
the rest
phone.
Of us.
But yeah, that's what any show or podcast I watch, I'm turning my phone sideways. So everyone else can do that. It's a nice feature here by StreamYard, but it's just too much to try and deal with graphics both directions. That does not mean our graphics are going to be 100% dialed in tonight, but we're going to try. So tonight we've got what's trending in sports. We've got college football storylines / March Madness. We're lumping them in together, but obviously we're going to talk March Madness. There's some stuff in college football. Last week, if you missed last week's show, we have the TSP Mock Draft 1.0 with Tyler and Alo. Booker and I were not a part of that, but we were looking forward to join the party on that. And then there's so much to talk about in the NFL. We're probably going to run out of time. But yeah, just so much going on. Maxx Crosby, Kyler Murray, so much more. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right in here into what's trending in sports. I mean, the big one. There's so many. Where do you want to start here, Booker? I feel like Arizona just won the Big 12, so that's huge in for March Madness implications. But my mind was going to the NFL. What have you been seeing on X today? What's buzzing over there on that platform?
AI generated content is absolutely buzzing right now.
Yeah.
But we refuse.
refuse.
I mainly basketball, man. Like I mean, there was a couple NHL games on today that were entertaining. A shootout between Washington and Boston that lasted like 3 hours that finally ended. But it's mainly like March Madness. People are gearing up for March Madness, including yourself and I and the rest of the guys. But obviously, I'd like to start. You know where I'd like to start? I was going to say, let's start with Maxx Crosby. But I think the bigger thing that I want to talk about is actually Kyler Murray.
AI? Oh, you want to go Kyler Murray? Okay.
I want to go Kyler Murray. Let's start with Kyler Murray.
Let's answer the question there. We tease it. Who do you think? Yeah, that's college football storylines. That's not it. There it is. Who do you think is going to be the starter? I mean, is it going to be the Kyler show? I did not see the press conference, but I heard it was a little bit of a crowning for Kyler Murray. And obviously, you're going to roll out the red carpet for the new guy, but you got your first round draft pick, J.J. McCarthy. He's got some raw talent. I don't know. You kind of know where I land on the Kyler Murray type of train, but who do you think is going to be the starter for the Vikings? Not who should be. Who do you think will be the game 1, week 1 starter for Minnesota?
Well, I think it's a little bit of a slap in the face to J.J. McCarthy. I mean, I think that it's J.J. McCarthy's job to lose, but I think the Vikings are kind of planning on him doing just that. And so they bring someone in who can take over and can manage the game. And I think Kyler Murray has not been everything that he was advertised to be. But I think he ends up being the starter, whether it's a few games in or after some spring ball or those, preseason games not spring ball after some preseason games. I think that they end up going that direction. JJ McCarthy is just not there yet. And he might be a couple years away. We see these guys like, I don't know, Daniel Jones. We got, Sam Darnold. Like, it just takes a little bit of time. Give him some more time. I think he'll be fine. But Kyler Murray seems like the kind of guy that he's gonna win that job pretty easily. And then he might lose it again by making poor decisions like he commonly does.
Yeah. Injury is definitely is always a factor with Kyler. I heard someone say this week he's 5'10". There's no way that man is 5'10". That's like the old Diego Pavia argument there of in bare feet. There's no way he's 5'10". I think it is Kyler's job. Everything I've heard this week, it seems like there's just this everybody's finger pointing in Minnesota. And this to me seems like a clear slate. I don't think they're going to trade JJ before the season, but I honestly wouldn't be shocked. Like, it seems like KOC is running the organization right now. I know they have a shadow GM, but I think KOC is kind of taking the reins, and they're kind of pinning JJ McCarthy on the old GM. So I wouldn't be shocked if he was the day one starter, but I think this is Kyler's. I don't know if that's the right decision. I mean, he's got raw talent. He's obviously can fling a football, but I don't know. I'm not a big Kyler Murray guy. I just think you still need a tall quarterback who's not going to be getting swept up in Call of Duty releases and is going to be locked in. Maybe this is new Kyler. He's going to be dialed in. But if KOC can pull this off, it might be his best one yet to get Kyler to play within a system. I think would be truly impressive. So let's get into this Maxx Crosby stuff. You hinted at it. The funny thing in our what's trending last week was Maxx Crosby is a Raven. And was it Tuesday? I don't even remember which day it was this week, but he is not a Raven. If you missed out on Booker's AI video on Maxx Crosby, it's a real winner, and we were
winner.
We were having some fun there before the show of Grok's video making skills. But back to reality, Maxx Crosby is back to the Raiders. It sounds like he's saying all the right things and wants to be in Las Vegas. I mean, we talked about it last week and I think the previous, but it's almost terrible to what he's had to sit through, the terrible seasons, the losing football, and now you're finally building a team and you trade away your cornerstone. Like, it just seemed like a below the belt thing to do to Maxx Crosby. So I like him going back to the Raiders. I like him getting a chance to build a winner around Fernando Mendoza, the offensive weapons. They're building on the defense. So I hope he sticks around. Do you think he's going to stay with the Raiders, or are they going to still move him? I know the Cowboys are trying to shop him. There's a couple other teams. The rumor mill right now is buzzing for so many different things. But you think Maxx Crosby plays for the Raiders this year?
I do. I think Maxx Crosby is kind of tired of the nonsense. All the even before he was traded or traded, quote unquote, before it fell apart. Like, the talk was all about, is he going to stay? Is he going to go? I think he wants to stay there. He hasn't communicated anything different until he was headed to Baltimore and had to get that pilot to turn the plane around, mid-flight to go back to Las Vegas. So I think he's staying there. And I can you imagine Jerry Jones and Maxx Crosby in the same room for like even 8 minutes without Jerry Jones losing his life or a limb? He's not going to put up with that nonsense. I think he's staying.
Yeah. It'd be interesting for sure. And then I know, but we talked not last week. You weren't here last week. The week before about what you are officially on the Buffalo Sabres. I saw this week they put up 16 goals in 3 games. I know you shared that video. I think it was on Monday or Sunday of last. They are buzzing right now. 16 goals in 3 games in a hockey team. That's pretty impressive. So I think they're playing tonight. I was not able to pull the clip, but did you see that
Tage Thompson?
The Oilers.
Oh, the Oilers.
The Oilers and the Stars. That's another one here in the NHL. Was the melees that were incurring in that game were also pretty great this week. But who are you mentioning there?
Tage Thompson. He was on the Olympic team. There was a power play where 5 times in a row they just kept passing it over to him on the side, and he was just lining it up and smacking it at the goal. It was pretty incredible to see. So yeah, the Buffalo Sabres are on fire right now. I think they're one of the best teams in the NHL. But Dallas, you mentioned Dallas, what they've been able to do to the Oilers, or what they were able to do to the Oilers and most other teams that they play. The Oilers are falling off. The wheels are falling off there in Edmonton. I even think Connor McDavid dropped his gloves in that game against the Dallas Stars, and that does not normally happen. You don't put your Maserati out there to get hit in the face. And so I think he's over it, but their goaltending is the main issue there in Edmonton. I suggested that they hire a sumo wrestler that could just plug the hole and just sit there the whole game. But no one agreed. I still stand by that though. So, but there's some incredible teams in the NHL going into the Stanley Cup here. Colorado's looking great too. So we will see what happens. We've got quite a few comments here going.
Yeah. It's popping off there. Appreciate you, Tyler. We're getting Tyler onto the show here shortly. So let's jump into. It's not a huge time of year for college football, but let's jump into some college football storylines. The one I wanted to start with, Dabo came out this week. We've got Howard's Rock. We've got Dabo. Came out and said it's nobody's fault but his own. He's taking accountability. Clemson, are they all the way back in 2026? They've got still elite wide receivers. I know nothing about quarterback Vizino. I think it's Vizina. But elite wide receivers and talent around him. What do you think? Is Dabo, has he been able to galvanize the boys? Is Clemson all the way back, or is it going to be more of the same? Again, maybe my worst take of 2025 that we thought that Clemson was going to be a real winner last year, and they were far from it. So
was it 2024 that you talked about Florida State? You're kind of you're a little bit of the kiss of death.
Yeah, a little bit. I got that the Drake prediction type thing here. So if I jump on the bandwagon, it's not a good thing.
Just don't talk about Tennessee, man. Just don't talk.
That's right.
Is
Clemson back or are they not? Yeah.
They're not all the way back, no. But I do think that they are going to be better next year. Whether Dabo comes out and says it's all on him or not, like taking a responsibility, that's fine. He's the head coach. He should. But I feel like Cade Klubnik was more the issue, personally. I just don't think that he lived up to expectations. I actually have heard quite a bit about Vizina, and I think that with that wide receiver room around him and a fresh start, Clemson is going to be a better team next year. I don't know that they'll win the ACC, but they are definitely going to be contenders next year, much unlike this year. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I trust the talent, and in general, I think I trust Dabo, but it was kind of rough last year having a Klubnik, having all that talent and just falling so short. I'm wondering, he's saying the right things, but I'm wondering how that's gonna pan out. But what other college football storylines you want to talk about this evening?
So I wanted to touch bases on. So it turns out Trump did indeed go and talk with he did not go. The NCAA came. Some of the bigwigs came to the White House and met about the issues that are currently facing the NCAA as it pertains to NIL transfer rules. Schools are basically operating like free agency markets, pay for play type of stuff. And so my question for you is, Nick Saban came out and he said, let me see here, I got the exact quote here. You know what? Actually, I don't have the exact quote, but he's basically saying like the system is broken and we need some help, some executive help from the government to help rein this back in. And my question for you is, the NCAA is the one that opened Pandora's box here. Are they trying to save a bit of face here by asking President Trump to step in and make some executive orders and to regain some control of this out of control college football landscape that we see before us?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think this is interesting. The mixture of the politics and the college football world. We'll see how it actually turns out. Maybe I'll respond when there's actual something put forward, but until we see what that is, it's a little bit like, not this is a dog and pony show, but from both sides, it probably obviously it's going to help Trump boost the morale of college football, and you're saving college football, and the NCAA is obviously trying to cover their bases. So yeah, I hope that some good comes out of this, and it's not just a political maneuver from both sides, but it's quite possible it's the first there. So we will see. All right, I've got one for us here. So this was, where's my note? There it is. Spring quarterback ranking. So we have CJ Carr. This was on an ESPN article. CJ Carr was ranked as the #1 quarterback going into this season, whether it be returning squad or just this is all of NCAA. I believe is the top 50 or 100 quarterbacks. I was kind of shocked to see CJ Carr as the top ranked quarterback for 2026. What are your thoughts on CJ? Does he deserve that spot, or should it be going to somebody else? I've got a name here that I think Tyler will agree with. But who do you think? Julian Sam was high up there. Who should be the #1 quarterback ranked going into this college football season?
I don't mind. I don't know how much stock we can actually put into this it's NCAA, or no, it's ESPN, but like CBS also put out a way too early quarterback ranking, and CJ Carr was at or near the top as well on that one. So I don't know how much stock we can actually put into that, but after his first year, entering his second year starting with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish and Marcus Freeman, I don't mind that. I think he's an ascending quarterback. He showed the ability as a young man to handle that offense and do a great job there. And he doesn't have a small pedigree. And so I do think that he's going to have an incredible year next year. And he's going to have to. Jeremiah Love is leaving the building. And so I think for them to have a decent year, CJ Carr is going to have to live up to that ESPN way too early quarterbacks ranking there.
Yeah. I mean,
you don't like it though.
I don't. 2,700 passing yards last year, and that's the guy you're going to say is the number one quarterback going into this year. I think when you've got Josh Hoover, Julian Sain, like all of these guys put up better production last year, and they have similar situations. So it feels like a real swing to say, hey, he's going to take this, huge step when we've already seen it from these other guys. I know Josh Hoover coming from TCU. It's a different conference. You're going to play a little different style of defense, but I just think give him the Signetti wash, and he's going to be putting up numbers. Now, again, being the top ranked quarterback is not just like, who can put up the best stats, but I think Sain, I think Hoover are going to put up the stats, and they're going to be winning a lot of football games. Notre Dame, I mean, they won some football games last year. They're going to have a good squad, but is it because CJ Carr is, or is it the coaching? Is it the overall team? I don't know. I just thought it was interesting when I clicked on that article, first name CJ Carr. I was like, that just seemed a little interesting on that. So,
well, Josh Hoover, he was at Houston last year, correct?
TCU.
Oh, he's at TCU. He had 13 interceptions. So I mean, and TCU is not necessarily the cream of the crop. I know he's he's a highly touted quarterback as well, coming into the league, but 13 interceptions with TCU, playing against pretty soft defenses in that conference where a lot of high scoring games. I think he's going to do better under the structure of Indiana and Curt Cignetti. So he certainly should be higher than 13 in my opinion, but I can see why he slipped. He should be top 10 though.
Yeah. All right. Any other college football, or you want to take us into some March Madness? March Madness buzz.
Man. Let's do March Madness buzz. I see that we got our man T-Ware in the building. So let's go ahead and just get after some March Madness. And so we have a March Madness bracket challenge. I created this graphic, and not AI. AI did not do this. This is all me. It's bracket challenge. We did this last year. It's free to join. You get one bracket. Click there. All right, so we'll put the link in the description, but you can also use your phone right now, unless you're watching this on your phone, to click that QR code. Brackets lock. Brackets lock on Thursday at tip off. But I know I thought about that as I did the QR code. I was like, people are probably watching this on here, but whatever. The winner of this, and so far we have 10 entries, and we're going to keep plugging this thing. But the winner of this gets the championship hat. So Kevin and I have been doing this for years. I've got a stack of hats of teams that I don't necessarily follow, but they are teams that it says, national champions. And it's a cool way to keep track of the wins that you get. And we'll continue doing this as long as TSP is around. And so we'll throw the link in the description. We'll be plugging this thing on our X. Feel free to utilize that QR code if you're watching on your laptop, but it's always a fun time. I know people are doing their brackets, so why not do it with TSP? Join the community.
That's right. And I'm just checking here quick. I believe it is in the show notes. We'll see how official we got that, but in the description. Well, we're going to see here if we nailed the landing on that or if we didn't. Oh, it is. It is. Look at that. Wow. I honestly was like, there's no way the link is in the show notes. So in the description here, go ahead and click that. But don't leave the podcast, because we got some good stuff coming up next here. So, all righty. Yeah, I love your subtle, like, I have many hats. My wife tried to throw out my one Baylor. It's a sparkly white and gold Baylor hat. I should have worn it tonight because it's my only one since we've been doing this together. And Yeah, you've got so many UConn hats. It's probably you need to get rid of some of those at this point. But
Yeah.
anyway, we'll keep it moving. But yeah, get in there, win a hat, share with your friends, get your family members in there. My son Vance, he's going to be joining. I'm pretty sure he's getting in there. We're going to let him, and there's probably a good chance he won our family bracket last year. I'd say there's a good chance he's going to win that thing again this year. So don't be messing with my boy. All right, let's go here. And we're really excited this evening. We've got Alabama football enthusiast, journalist at the Bama Hammer, covering the Alabama Crimson Tide, Trevion Ware. Welcome to the show. Let's see if we can do this. Welcome in, man.
Hey, how y'all doing this evening? Doing all right.
We're doing well.
Doing well, man. Glad to have you, brother.
Well,
Glad
we're
to be
excited
here,
you're here. We're going to talk a little March Madness. And, so our question here for us all is kind of our two top contenders. Obviously, Arizona won the Big 12 championship right before the show started, so that they're obviously going to be probably a 1 seed. But for you two, what's our top contenders? Any Cinderellas that people should be looking out for here in the upcoming March Madness? T-Ware, why don't you take us?
Okay, well, starting out with March Madness. Normally, I'm a football guy, but I do my share of tuning in to March Madness. So, my top two contenders will really be the Duke Blue Devils, who I'm watching behind me now. I don't know if you guys see it or not. In the Michigan Wolverines, obviously, because on Duke's side they have the Boozer brothers and just the structure that they have at that Duke. In that Duke program and how dominant they've been throughout the year and stuff like that, I definitely expect a big March Madness from the Duke Blue Devils. And also just looking at Michigan and seeing how a lot of people didn't really expect a lot from them this year, but they were able to stay afloat and really be dominant in their conference in the Big Ten. So I'm definitely expecting Michigan Wolverines to be one of those contenders that could potentially make the Final Four dance and do some damage in the tournament this March.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like those two. Luckily,
which
you didn't pick the one I was
for?
going after. So I'm gonna take Arizona. I just got done watching Arizona beat Houston, and Houston's no slouch. Houston has, let's see here, they've got elite defense and some rebounding. They're one of the toughest teams to score on, and Arizona at one point was up 14 points, and they're deep. They had a couple of guys go out for a couple of minutes with some injury, and Houston did come back and had some runs, but I just believe in that Arizona team. I posted something on X earlier this year, and I was like, man, I think Arizona's going to win it all. So I'll have to find that tweet if I end up being right. But as far as Cinderellas go, you got Yale. They're 24-5. They've had a strong Ivy League run. They're efficient. And then how can we not talk about the Miami Redhawks? Nearly perfect season in the MAC. And I think they're just coming in hot, man. They got that one loss, which probably actually helps them, does not hurt them. They realize that they are not immortal and that they have to bring it every single game. And that's what they're going to have to do in the big dance if they make it. I guess that's assuming they make it, which if they don't make it, I'll be very surprised. So
it seems like they will. I mean, I in that CBS article you shared before the show there, where were they at? Were they in that bracket there, Trevion?
Yeah, I did see them in that bracket. They were it's just because of the conference that they play in, they didn't really get to the respect seating-wise that I thought they would. I mean, it's kind of hard to go undefeated, especially in college basketball, getting up for over 30 games and continuing just to be on the streak that they were on. So I definitely think they'll come into the tournament with a point to prove. I don't remember the exact seating of where they were seated, but I thought it was kind of disrespectful to them based off the year that they had. But
absolutely.
Going to my Cinderella picks, I would probably look at a team like a Villanova or a Santa Clara as some Cinderella contenders in this March Madness tournament. I say that because both teams have scrappy backcourts. Both teams have a lot of heart. Both teams play with a good intensity of how they push the floor and play defense. Villanova is kind of a classic Cinderella team, a program with championship pedigree that isn't always in the spotlight, but they quietly built their roster smartly. So I definitely think that Villanova definitely fits that mold. And looking at Santa Clara, they're like a dark horse because they're a mid-major, under the radar, but they're very capable of shocking a big name program and just showing up when a lot of people count them out. So for me, my Cinderella teams would be Villanova and Santa Clara.
Yeah. And what do you guys think of this one for me? My pick is our old buddy here, Amir Khan. We got McNeese State, I think it is. I think they are a state university. And I like, we were talking a little bit before the show there, Book, but I like the team that did okay. And I was trying to pull it up here while you guys were talking. I couldn't find how far they made it last year. I know they had the one big win. So it looks like they made it past the first round. They lost to Purdue in the second round. So I like McNeese State getting that experience last year. I don't know how many returning players they have because that's the beauty of March Madness. It's like how much do we really know about most of these teams? And I don't know if it's hard to call Miami an underdog or a Cinderella, but I agree with you, Trevion, that they're going to come. I mean, they've scored over 90 points, over 100 plus on most of the teams that they've played. Like that type of offense translates to March Madness perfectly. And you watch some of their clips and they are moving the ball around. It's not just one player that's carrying them. They truly are a really well-balanced team. So I think Miami of Ohio, and I like McNeese State. Let's pivot a little closer, near and dear to your heart. How much Alabama here? Oh, that's not it. We almost nailed that landing. Alabama, we've got, I'm going to butcher the name. Is it Pinion? Where is it at? I got my name here somewhere. Crushing it. Don't have his name written down. Somewhere I did. I thought I did. Alabama. Wow. We are crushing. Absolutely crushing.
You're doing a great job, Kevin. We got this, man.
Trying to run these graphics at the same time. But what are your thoughts on Alabama? They ran to the Elite Eight last year. Do you think they can repeat, or is it going to be a tough sledding for the Alabama squad to repeat that level of success?
I mean, I'll be honest, just looking at how they went down last night to Ole Miss by 1 point, it's kind of the skies are kind of gray here in Tuscaloosa, but I definitely have faith in the Crimson Tide considering how they played throughout this basketball season and the strong pedigree that Coach Nate Oates coaches with. For them, it's really going to be about rebounding. I mean, that's been the team's problem over the last 2 or 3 seasons, just not having the size inside to compete. And it's really just going to depend on who they run into in that tournament. Because last night, when you look at how Alabama lost that game, they were out rebounded by Ole Miss, 42 rebounds to 36 rebounds, and I just really didn't like that. I mean, but it's been kind of a microcosm of how the season has went. I mean, when they shoot the 3-ball pretty well, they're pretty hard to defend, they're hard to beat. But when that 3-ball isn't falling, it gets kind of ugly because like they have to revert to going inside, and unfortunately they really don't have an inside presence out of their out of the one player that they do have that can work inside, and that's Aiden Sherrill. So it really just depends on how they are, what their mindset is. They have to get scrappy. They have to find ways to elevate their game outside of three-point territory. I was looking at ESPN's latest bracketology today, and they have Alabama listed as a 4th seed in the West. And they be playing.
We tried.
Yeah, and they be playing a team like number 13. I don't know how to say their name. Hofstra. I do not know how to say that.
Oh,
name.
Is it like Hofstra?
Hofstra. Yeah, Hofstra.
Okay.
I think that's a New York team. I'm not 100% sure, but they be playing a team like that. And the first game is projected to be in Tampa. So, I mean, they should be able to get through there and get out of the round of 64, of course. They should be able to. I believe if they play their best ball and really get hot, they can make a Final 8 run. But we've seen in the past, I mean, they've made it to several Final 8s. But like I said, it's all going to come down to playing fundamental basketball, not being out-rebounded, not getting bullied in the paint, and they've been
But
bullied in the. It seems like every game that they lost, they only lost 8 games this year. Seems like every game that they lost, they were out rebounded. I remember watching them versus the Florida Gators. Obviously, the Florida Gators are the defending champions, but they got rebounded in the paint by like 40 points. So I mean, they got outscored in the paint by like 40 points. So every time that they lose, it's really just the fact that they can't get anything going inside. So that's really going to be the key for the Alabama Crimson Tide in the NCAA tournament this March.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed with Alabama, though, man. Like, I really am. So I was looking at ESPN. They've only scored under 90 points this season 5 times, and that's including in this SEC tournament. So when they're scoring, when they're hot, they put up 117 points against, I believe it was Ole Miss, if I'm looking at this correctly. No, against Arkansas. And Arkansas is playing in the championship tomorrow. They put 117 points up on them. So if they're scoring, I mean, I don't know if Alabama is a championship caliber team this year, but I see them making a deep run. I think that's a given unless they just, like you said, get bullied in the paint.
Is it Philon Jr.? Pylon Jr.? How do you pronounce this?
Yeah, it's LeBaron Philon. LeBaron Philon, he's one of those guards that can attack you inside, but it can't just be him. I mean, he can get hot from 3, but at the same time, like I said, they have to have some type of inside presence. You mentioned that game versus Arkansas when they scored that 117 points. That was because Darius Acuff was just going off, and Darius Acuff is probably going to be one of the top guards in this NBA draft come June. He scored 50 on Alabama. That's because he can continuously get to the cup and stuff like that. Yeah. And it took Alabama about 2.5 overtimes. I think it was 2. I think it was 3. I'll just say 2 for now. But like I said, it took them 2 overtimes for them to knock off the Razorbacks. So considering that and how easily the Razorbacks were able to get into the paint and stuff like that, that's really what it comes down to. Because like you said, when Alabama is scoring, when they're hot, there's not a lot of offenses in college basketball that can keep up with them. But their kryptonite is just the paint. It's everything up close under the rim. If you out rebound them and you run the floor, you kind of can beat this team. I hate to say that, but that's really the truth. And we're in March now, so you got to kind of be truthful now. And I've seen this team weaknesses and stuff like that. So hopefully, in the next coming days, Coach Nados can draw some things up to kind of cover up some of those deficiencies. But if not, I mean, Elite 8, that might be the ceiling. Who knows? I don't want to put a cap on them too early, but getting down to those type of teams that have that's the size and are able to play inside and out, that's going to be a problem. So hopefully Alabama can find ways to cover up those deficiencies.
Let's take a quick rabbit trail here into Alabama, and we'll have to get you on sometime again when Tyler's on the show. He'll be joining us a little bit later, but this is his comment here on YouTube. What a world where Alabama is now a basketball school and IU is a football school. Now I'm sure T. Ware has something to say about that. I think he's taking a subtle shot at Alabama football, and he's feeling himself as our Indiana guy. I'm going to roll up in here in an Indiana shirt shortly, but is Alabama a basketball school, or are the Crimson Tide going to be back this fall? How they looking this spring? How you feeling about 2026 Alabama football as well as a basketball team?
I mean, I'll be honest, that comment is fair considering how we saw Alabama pretty much get plastered in the Rose Bowl, the worst college football loss in their school's history. I mean, that is fair, so I won't fight back too much on that comment. But looking at the 2026 Alabama Crimson Tide, there is a lot to like about this team. Yes, this team is young. They have about 7 to 8 seniors on the roster. I know that's kind of alarming when people look at that, but there's a lot of fresh young talent on this team. Kalen DeBoer has found ways to get more of his fingerprints on the program, and that's with a lot of the hires that he's made this year. He kind of inherited a lot of Saban's old hires, Nick Saban's old coaches and stuff like that, and he's officially been able to get some people of his picking in those roles. You look at the offensive line coach going from Coach Chris Kapovich to Coach Adrian Clem. Coach Adrian Clem is a coach that coached at SMU. He coached at UCLA. He coached at USC. and he coached in the NFL with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And in those times, you look at his offensive line groups, they were near the top of college football and even near the top at the NFL. In 2023, I believe it was, when Coach Clem was with the Pittsburgh Steelers, they only allowed 14 sacks on the season, and that led the NFL for least sacks allowed in that category. So everything for the Crimson Tide, it starts up front. Obviously, a lot of people want to know about this quarterback battle going on between Austin Mack and Keelan Russell. Coach Ryan Grubb, second-year coordinator at Alabama, he's been keeping everything close to the vest. I was up at the school this past week for the first week of spring practices and everything like that. And every time he asked about the quarterbacks, he kind of didn't really give too much away. The most he said that the battle was pretty even. But he did point out that Keelan Russell, the 5-star quarterback, he's the highest-rated quarterback in Alabama school history from Duncanville, Texas, my neck of the woods. I'm from Dallas, Texas originally, but he did state that Keelan Russell has some attributes to his game, athleticism-wise, that could potentially put him over Austin Mack. I wrote an article about it today on at my publication, the Bama Hammer, just talking about some subtle differences between Austin Mack and Keelan Russell. He was basically saying that both quarterbacks are mobile, but Keelan Russell has a different dimension with his feet on top of the anticipation he throws with as a passer. So that could be the difference. I don't want to read too much into that early, but just looking at Austin Mack, who's going into his third year in the system. Austin Mack is a kid that Kalen DeBoer originally recruited at Washington when he was at Washington, when he led Washington to the national championship with Michael Penix as his quarterback. And Austin Mack was one of those true freshmen on that roster. He followed him all the way to Alabama. So now sitting behind Jalen Milroe and sitting behind Ty Simpson, a lot of people are expecting Austin Mack to take that next jump, but Keelan Russell was right there neck and neck. And I'll be honest, I think Keelan Russell was more of the talented guy. But when you look at a kid like Austin Mack being 6'6", 235 pounds, a lot of people look at that frame and build. They think about a quarterback like a Josh Allen, just the way he's built and everything. But it's really about which quarterback can protect the football, which quarterback can move the chains, and which quarterback can –
Mack was the one who came in towards the end of last season, right? And once they benched Simpson, Mack was the one who took over, if I'm not mistaken on that. But he looked good, and what a statue of a man out there running around. So he certainly can play.
And I wouldn't say.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say Simpson was benched, because when you look at the Indiana game, he exited the game with a cracked rib, and off a hit from Indiana Hoosiers cornerback. He's now going to NFL, D'Angelo Pons. He kind of caught him lacking, and he hit him in the back, and he cracked his rib. Plus, Ty Simpson, he was really beat up due to the poorest offensive line play that they had. Alabama had one of the worst rushing attacks in college football, and once teams figured out Alabama couldn't run the ball, they were pretty much dialed in on the passing game, and Ty Simpson took a lot of punishment for that. But when Austin Mack did come in versus Indiana, he did look good. He did move the football. He did give them another dimension running the football, just because he's kind of a better athlete than Ty Simpson. But still the same. I credit that as well to the Indiana Hoosiers being prepared for Ty Simpson, not being prepared for a 6'6", 235-pounder like Austin Mack.
Absolutely.
Now, I got a question for you, T-Ware, if that's okay. And I know we're running out of time on this segment here specifically, but I got to know, in 2 minutes, can you tell me what's going on with the hyphenated name for Ryan Coleman Williams?
That's what the people want to know.
That's what the people want to know, T-Ware. This guy is you are the insider for our Alabama football. We got to know, man.
Yeah, well, Ryan Williams, that hyphenated name comes from his mother. His mother's last name is Coleman, and his dad's last name is Williams. So he has already gone on record to say he wants to honor both of his parents by putting Coleman Williams on the back of that jersey. And I think that is kind of a rebrand. Obviously, Ryan Williams did not have the season that a lot of people were expecting at all. I mean, even I was disappointed just looking at the lack of concentration that he had, catching the football, and some of the fundamental areas that he lacked in. But this offseason, I'll go on record by saying I've seen Ryan Williams kind of approach this year more seriously, considering that this is kind of his NFL audition now, because you look at him his freshman year, he was an all-SEC receiver, one of the top receivers in college football, popping onto the scene as a 17-year-old freshman. But even being in those conversations with Ohio State receiver Jeremiah Smith, but we saw Jeremiah Smith kind of just take off on him. I mean, I'll even go on to say Jeremiah Smith is kind of more NFL ready than Ryan Williams, just with the build and the stature and the consistency that he's had at Ohio State. But to go back to your question, I definitely think that this new Ryan Coleman Williams, I'm having a hard time saying it because I always call him Ryan Williams. But hey, it's Ryan Coleman Williams now. He's even changed the number. He got it reduced, and he's going to number 1. So now I'm thinking that this year can be a better year for him. Offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb spoke on it this week when reporters were asking him after practice about what Ryan Williams needs to do to get back to that 2024 form. And Coach Grubb was kind of just put it on the coaching staff. Really, it's really just about manufacturing more touches for him, because last year, obviously Jeremy Bernard, who's in the NFL draft now. Yeah, Jeremy Bernard kind of took over as the number 1 receiver, and they had Isaiah Horton, who transferred to Texas A&M. Those are bigger body receivers, and they had Ryan Williams playing inside of the slot. And that's something that he's not accustomed to doing. He has to develop in that area, because in the NFL, it doesn't matter what you're accustomed to doing. They're going to ask you to do it, and you're going to have to do it. But Ryan Williams really this year is really just about him just growing in those areas, and I definitely think that he can. He's going to have to now, because he's like the alpha in the receiver room, the alpha on offense. You look at this Alabama football team, this is a young football team. They're only returning 2 starters on the offensive side of the ball. Those 2 starters being Ryan Coleman Williams and in right tackle Michael Carroll. So it's going to be a whole new shift on this offense. I believe this team is going to be carried by the defense with third-year defensive coordinator Kane Warmack. They have a lot of more stability on that side of the ball, having the third-year cornerback in I forgot his name. That's crazy. I forgot his name. Xavier Brown, the third-year cornerback Xavier Brown, and second-year cornerback Dijon Lee, and having Bray Hubbard at the top at that safety position, and Keon Sabb, and some of the additions that they made in the transfer portal. They took a big effort at attacking the trenches, somewhere that Alabama was beat pretty badly last year, and it showed in the Indiana game. So I'm definitely thinking that this team can definitely find some stability. Like I said, it's going to be a defensive-led team, I believe so, especially in the first couple of weeks, considering they're ushering in a new quarterback with Austin Mack or Keelan Russell. Neither one of those kids has made a college start, but all have the talent in the world. And I definitely believe if one of them did hit the open market, there will be a lot of suitors for them. So it was a big plus for Alabama to get both of them back. So now it's really just about getting a new offensive line coach, Adrian Clem, filling out the rest of this offensive line. They have the skill players, and they have the running backs. They have a 6'2.5" running back, Daniel Hill. He was pretty good last year, but Alabama did not have the blocking up front for him to show. And they also have the number 1 running back in the class of 2026, E.J. Carrell. He's a 5'11", 220-pound back. And they also just have a lot of weapons, but it's really just about, like I said, up front. If they can't get anything going up front, it could be pretty ugly. But I'm thinking that this team definitely can compete once they get this talent to be cohesive and come all together. And there's been a lot of pressure on Kalen DeBoer. A lot of people wanting to run him out of town. A lot of people comparing him to Nick Saban. I mean, those comparisons are always going to be there because he followed the greatest coach in college football history. So, I mean, that's all people know to do, to compare him to that. But I think that now, like I said, with Coach DeBoer getting a lot of more people that he handpicked in the roles, in those offensive assistant roles, in that offensive line room, and getting a new receivers coach and things of that nature. I definitely think that him having more of his fingerprint on the program in year 3, that can only be a plus. I mean, it's a lot of moving pieces that have to be put together, but and it's a lot more I have to see this spring. Right now, Alabama only went through 4 days of spring practice. Now the university is out for spring break, so we won't see anything until the 24th of this month. And then the Alabama Pro Day comes, and then we look at the spring game at A-Day. So there's still a lot to learn about this team. But from what I saw this week and stuff like that, the pieces are there. It's just about how quickly those pieces could come together. But I know that was a long-winded answer.
You're good, man. You're good. Well, we appreciate you coming on and sharing some Alabama insider type of stuff.
There it is.
Really good action.
Mr. Diesel coming back saying, you know what? T-Ware's right. Alabama does have a lot to offer, man. It's going to be a good – Alabama will be back for sure next year for sure.
So, all right, man. We'll have to get you back on the show. And, again, thank you for coming on tonight. And we'll definitely have to get you back on and talk some more college football. So, appreciate it.
T-Ware.
All right.
And I want one other thing before we go March Madness. So I know we kind of pivoted off March Madness there, and that's perfectly fine. Appreciate that insight. It's really cool to get some real insight from someone on the ground there in Tuscaloosa to tell us what's going on. But I did just see that St. John beat the brakes off of UConn. So I'm saying it right now. UConn is going down in the second round. They're going to win the first round, but I don't think they made the Sweet 16. So mark it right now. UConn is just not the same team.
Yeah, there's maybe that, but then I also think sometimes if they take the punch in the conference championship, does that help them in the March Madness? Where sometimes you see teams they win that conference championship, and then did they run out of gas playing a lot of games there? Those can we'll see. I heard today St. John's is 24-2 in that building over the last 2 years or something like that. So
pretty good.
Yeah, that certainly is a big upset. So all right, let's pass it over here to Tyler and take us into our NFL part of the show.
What's up, everyone? As always, we truly appreciate you spending some time here in the podcast live. We all know sports is better with community. We want, whether it's friendly banter between rivals, whether it's talking about spring ball and getting ready for the next season, whether it's March Madness, whatever we're talking about, we want to build a community where we can discuss that openly. So we encourage you guys to follow, respread the live podcast, if you will, whether it's here on X or over on YouTube. It helps us to know that you're enjoying the content, you're enjoying the conversation, but more importantly, we'd love to get you to give us some feedback, just like T-Ware just did. It's a lot going on in the sports world. So the more we can get into this community, the more we can discuss it, the happier we will be. So we truly appreciate you taking some time out of the day to come over here and be part of the conversation. And we truly hope that we'll see more of you joining that community. So now let's get over to the NFL side of things. Free agency has been insane. Booker's been hot on the keyboard, sitting there making AI slop, trying to get us out of our day job. And we're excited to talk about it.
Is there a more buttery smooth voice on this podcast other than Mr. Diesel? I'm not entirely sure. I want you to come read books to me as I'm trying to fall asleep, because that is delightful. Thank you.
Listen, we are not sponsored yet, but audio, call me. We can work something out.
All right. So let's see if we got, well, look at that. We got these graphics going. My apologies, T-Ware. That was we didn't quite stick the landing on the graphics, but last week we had TSP Mock Draft 1.0. Here's our Mr. Diesel ALO leagues. This is what you guys came up with. We got Booker and I on the show this week. Let's go around the horn. Obviously, it's been a big week in the NFL. There's so much movement, so many new players and new teams, new faces. Maxx Crosby's a Raven. Maxx Crosby's not a Raven. So looking at this draft board, Booker, why don't you kick us off here? Let's start with what's the one change you would make from this first mock draft. And again, these weren't our mock drafts, so we'll take it easy on the fellas. They, like Tyler said last week, it was way too early, but we're getting in on the mock draft game, so why not? So Booker, what's your one change you're making from either mock draft?
Well, so things have changed quite a bit. I think the thing that stands out most to me on this one, and this was, things happened during the week that now we have to make these adjustments, and that's what's fun about doing these mock drafts. But I see the Arizona Cardinals both taking defensive players in the first round, and now I'm wondering, wow, they need a quarterback pretty bad. They've got and I'm forgetting his name now, but they've got, is it Jacoby Brissett and maybe one other guy?
Gardner Minshew.
Is Gardner Minshew there at Arizona now?
Yeah.
So are you guys, my question for you guys is Arizona pivoting now? Did they know, I mean, obviously they weren't going to follow our mock drafts exactly, but like, did they trade away Kyler Murray thinking, we need to get after a quarterback? I know the quarterback class is not overly strong this year outside of Fernando Mendoza, but are you changing your first round for the Arizona Cardinals?
I will not be, because other than Fernando Mendoza, it's a bunch of non-quarterbacks that will be starters in the NFL. I think that
even Ty Simpson, Ty Simpson has been showing out. No, you're not.
I think he's could be that one quarterback that has like a veteran or a backup for a long time and maybe gets his chance, but I don't think he'll ever be a star. And I think the 2027 NFL draft is too stacked. I mean, you have Arch Manning, Julian Sain. That's just top two right there. You even throw what's his name, Sean Leavitt.
Dante Moore.
You have so many. Like, that's four right off the bat that are better than Ty Simpson. So, like, for me, it's like, why not get a pass rusher, which is super important in the NFL? Your coach, your QB, and your rush. Those are the three most important things. And if you can hit one of them, that's perfect. But Ty Simpson is not the guy.
Same for you, Tyler?
You hinted at it, Booker, and I just dropped it in the chat. But are the Cardinals tanking for 2027? I think, again, Booker, you hinted at it. I think this is some Utah Jazz level tanking in the NFL of, let's bring in Gardner Minshew, trot him out there. I don't think Jonathan Gannon makes it past this year, and his last parting gift is Arch Manning to the Arizona Cardinals or somebody at that one spot. So there's one other, I don't know if it's the Browns or somebody else making these type of moves, but this screams tanking for 2027 in my estimation. Tyler, sorry if I cut you off there.
No, I completely agree. I think Minshew understands what his role is in the NFL, and that is to get good picks for the team he's playing for. So I stick with it. I went tackle there last week in the draft, and they got to prepare for that quarterback they're going to be drafting later on. Now, you could argue maybe the play is to stack a bunch of picks and they actually drop down, because if they are thinking quarterback this year, they can't do Ty Simpson at 3. That's for sure. So do they bait it a little bit? Do they trade back and just try to get picks either for this year or next year? I think that's actually a possibility, because like Alo was saying, you got some defensive ends that could make a difference in the league at the top of that board. And I think there's more value there than there is Ty Simpson. But if they're looking long term, if they're eyeing some Arch Manning over there, then I would stick with the tackle and build up that offensive line now. Let him get some experience and get some bruises in the NFL to prepare for next year.
Yeah. Alo, who's your one change that you're making after 1 week of stewing on it and seeing all these free agency moves?
Yeah, there's a couple, but the one that I really thought about was the Jeremiah Love to the Saints. I mean, now Travis Etienne is going there, and he signed a 4-year deal. I actually now would change it. I would put the Commanders taking Jeremiah Love, because they didn't really do anything crazy at the RB. I mean, they got Rodriguez, but I don't think they did anything crazy, the Commanders. Oh, no, I'm sorry, they didn't get Rodriguez, but they just didn't boast it up that much. So I think Love there, I don't know. I think they take Love, especially because they already have their quarterback.
A question I have for you guys is so like last year, Patrick Mahomes was just harassed all year. And some would say that's the reason why they didn't have the season that people had the expectation of them having, or the season that they should have had, or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering, like, they get Kenneth Walker, who's not known to be a blocking running back. And then I'm looking at your guys's, let's see here. So we got Reuben Bain. One of you took Reuben Bain, which is an edge guy from Miami, absolute stud. And then the other had Jeremiah Love. Are you thinking that maybe they should be looking for an offensive lineman of some sort that can get in there and protect this man?
Yeah, so I think they could go that route. I think the reason they went running back is because they know they need to lean more into the running game until they rebuild that offensive line. For me personally, that's why I went Jeremiah Love. But I also thought they would be the type that would spend in free agency. Obviously, if you have Mahomes back there, you have the Kels stuff going on, then in my mind, you're trying to find players that can plug and play right then and there. Now, you can make an argument that offensive linemen can do that, but regardless of the position, the general rule is it takes at least a year to truly see them come out. So if they're running this with Kels and all of that, I just really felt like it was going to be free agency or bust as far as that offensive line goes, and trying to plug some pieces there.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I think one that stood out to me for a change was Jordan Tyson to the Steelers. I like the player, but with bringing Pittman in there, DK, Roman Wilson, there's been a lot of hype on Roman Wilson this offseason. So I was kind of shocked that they even brought Pittman in, because I thought Wilson can take that step up as a possession receiver next to DK. But I think that's just somewhere where the Steelers are going to have to protect old man Rodgers, dust in the bones, make sure he's not getting sacked 15 times a game. So whether they go the offense or defensive line, I bet the Steelers bring in somebody for the trenches. So that was mine.
I'm really
Tyler,
surprised.
Did you share yours already? Go ahead, Book.
I was just going to say I'm really surprised to see. I mean, not that they signed Aaron Rodgers, but I mean, they just don't want to try Will Howard? Like Aaron Rodgers, I think proved last year to not be that guy. Like age has just done what age does. So I'm wondering why that's. Do you guys think Will Howard gets any starts this year? Obviously, this is not a draft question, but I'm seeing heads nod. Yeah. Does Aaron Rodgers make it through the whole year, I guess is my question. What do you think, Tyler? No.
I don't know. It depends on how long that Darkness Retreats goes and what new tribe drug you can figure out to try to take and see if it's an elixir or not. Beyond that, then give me Will Howard in there getting reps and whatnot. My must change was probably Mendoza. Now that Crosby's going back, they're going to need to get him some defensive end help and put in Reuben Bain there. No, I'm joking. It's Mendoza all the way. The Rams blew my mock draft. Sean McVay put it up as bulletin board material apparently and said, look at this jackwagon. He thinks we're going to draft cornerbacks when we're in a Super Bowl window. Yeah, friggin' right. We're going to go sign 14 free agents to the cornerback room and just decide what we want to do with them. So I got to do a lot of readjusting for my Rams draft. They obviously believe they have the defense that can win now, and are probably going to get some offensive pieces instead to go along with Puka. Devontae Adams had some injuries here and there last year, and then most likely some offensive line pieces just to add some depth.
Yeah. And pivoting, and then giving McDuffie 120-some million. I mean, that we'll have to get back to the drawing board of the Rams for sure. But like you said, it's just way too early. Pivoting back to the Aaron Rodgers, the Steelers had a lot of problems last year. I don't think Rodgers was one of them. I mean, 65% completion, 3,300 yards, 24 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Will Howard's not sniffing that in year 2, his first year starting. So give me old man Rodgers to continue starting, especially bringing Mike McCarthy back. It was just weird watching the Steelers play football last year because the defense was terrible. The offense was trying to carry them, and that's not what you think of when it's the Steeler football. So I think if they can get back to that, but again, bringing in Mike McCarthy is not, hey, we're going to be smash mouth, defensive, run the ball. So I'm interested to see. I think Rodgers has one more year with the Steelers.
All he needs is just another year of age, and he's going to be just fine.
Just
another year older.
2-yard pitches to their 750-pound tight end that's been bulldozing for another 12 yards is not exactly lightening it up, but to each their own.
That's right.
Honestly, if I'm the Steelers for the first time in their life, I would tank, especially for the 2027 draft class. I mean, dude, imagine Julian Sain on your team?
Yeah.
I don't
Listen,
know. What's the thought process?
As a Colts fan, this is the one red flag I would give you. Michael Pittman has played for like 14 different quarterbacks in his short NFL career. So just maybe the Steelers are thinking ahead and being like, okay, Rodgers probably not going to make it. Will Howard, who knows if he does? And then we're going to be on the 3-1. Let's get a wide receiver who plays with a no quarterback every season. That way we're covered.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to give the Steelers my kiss of death and say that they could be a sleeper team this year, but we'll see. We'll see on that. How about let's go with the other side of this question. Just one, looking at this mock draft, what's the slam dunk pick that, hey, even after free agency, these teams still have to make this move? I mean, some things stick out of like the Broncos didn't land A.J. Brown. Sorry, Crew Talk, Dak, all those fellas over there. They're like the Patriots still waiting for the A.J. Brown. Booker, you were even getting in on that today, saying Drake May, A.J. Brown stuff, and I was about to come off the top rope for my job site today. But all these teams waiting around for wide receivers. What's the slam dunk? Hey, we picked it last week and we stand by it. Ayla, why don't you kick us off on this one?
Yeah. So for me, I'm gonna have to go. I know a lot of people would say the Broncos definitely needing a wide receiver, but they showed me that if Bo Nix doesn't get hurt, they go to the they go to the Super Bowl. So for me, I still have to pick the Bills. I know they went and got Moore from the Bears, but that doesn't scream wide receiver one to me. I mean, the Bears were willing to let go of Moore because DJ Moore because one, they have Luther Burns, so they're thinking, okay, Luther Burns is better, and two, they're thinking, oh, Doomsday's better. So it's like, for me, it's like, okay, you're good. I don't even know. Is he better than Shakir? Is he better than him? I don't think so. So for me, they need a wide receiver one. I mean, in order for them to get over the hump, I mean, we've been talking about them beating the Chiefs. Now it's not that anymore. They couldn't beat the Broncos. So, I think they need a wide receiver one. I think Josh Allen needs that to get over the hump. And whether that's Lemon, if he falls to them, whether that's KC, whether that's Boston, they need one of them, and they need to hit on them. They can't have another Coleman out there where the GM comes out talking about, oh, we picked them, but we didn't mean to. Like, we can't have that. Josh Allen needs a wide receiver one, and we need to see it happen.
If Mekhi Lemon drops the freaking Buffalo Bills, man, I will be doing cartwheels in my living room. If they're not able to get Mekhi Lemon or Denzel Boston, any of these guys, I think they should try to draft a referee or an official, someone who can tell what a catch is and isn't, so that maybe they can actually make it through the playoffs without some controversy. I don't know what you guys think about that.
To be honest, I was super disappointed that they didn't go and get Mike Evans. Out of everyone, I thought they were for sure be the front runners for him. I mean, he's wide receiver one. He's what Josh Allen has dreamed of his whole life. I mean, 6'5". You talk about those games against the Chiefs, against the Broncos. Dude, he's giving you those contesting catches. That's what he needs, somebody to throw the ball to at the end of the game that he could depend on. And you don't go and get him when he's on free agency? I don't know, man. It's tough.
Yeah. Let's mine is man, sorry, Tyler. I just keep
go for it.
Mine will be quick, but mine is if Caleb Downs is there at the 10 pick for I guess Alo, you have him going a little higher than 10. Tyler having Caleb Downs at the 10 spot for the Bengals. They should be sprinting to the podium to get some defensive help on that team. So to me, if they can get the best player at pick 10, that's kind of Jaelen Carter vibes from a couple years ago to my Eagles. So I think that's one where if he's there, the Bengals must take that pick. But Tyler, what were you going to say?
I was just gonna say for mine on my mock draft, the Panthers, they just strengthened their defensive end big time. So I even more love that Caden McDonald pick there at the Panthers. Just a people eater. Just is gonna take up probably some double teams there. He can easily eat that space up, and then you just let the defensive ends work from there. So I love that pick. But then I completely agree with the Bengals. Trey Hendrickson is officially out the door and over to the Ravens, rumored to have a better health report than Maxx Crosby. Interesting. So I think it's definitely important to get some defensive help there as well. Completely agree, Kevin.
Yeah. Book, did you share your lock?
Just my excitement for the Bills, but I'll say, oh man, I just lost him. Well, actually, mine's kind of like a question for you. How are you feeling? It looks like one of the guys here has got Kenyon Sadiq going to the Eagles. How do you love having that absolute animal?
Yeah,
you're not over that. Huh?
The Eagles stuff with Dallas Goedert is so interesting right now. With it's got Philly Twitter just all up in knots because they pushed back his void and his contract, and they pushed it back again. People are taking that as they're trading AJ Brown, but they're just. So I don't know. I still think Dallas Goedert is coming back. We re-signed Calcaterra. I don't remember his name, but we got an absolute monster of a blocking tight end, Muncie maybe or something like that. So I hope Dallas Goedert comes back. I'd be fine if they went Sadiq. I'm a little higher on Stowers, I think, just for overall production. I get a little nervous on the tweener tight ends, like 6'2", 6'3". You're a freaky athlete in college, but you also got to be able to deal with Myles Garrett's of the world. So, when you're a 6'2", 6'3" tight end, I just get a little nervous about that. But I like him. I like his potential for sure.
Well, I mean, you're going to be running more 2 tight end sets when AJ Brown's in New England eating crab. So you got to start to think big picture here.
Yeah, come on, Kevin.
I can't tell if Howie Roseman's playing possum or what. Yeah, I hope they just hold on to it for one more year. We started the show with this, and again, let's wrap it up here in the next few minutes. But we started with Kyler and Kyler Murray, JJ McCarthy. Let's get Alo, Tyler. What are your thoughts on that? Who's going to be the Vikings starting quarterback in 2026? And who should be and who will be, I guess, is kind of where we're taking this. But Tyler, what are your thoughts?
Listen, I haven't looked up the official heights of the Vikings offensive line yet, and that's really going to dictate who I decide is the starter here. The shorter, the better for Murray, and he's going to have a chance to ball out. I think bringing in Kyler Murray just is dictating that McCarthy, it's his job to lose. I don't think they want a ton of competition there for McCarthy. He was pick 10. I mean, when you're top 10 pick, you are going to get fed those opportunities for better or worse. Believe it from someone who just saw Anthony Richardson go 4, who wasn't quite there yet, obviously, but yet there he was starting out. And then you start to hear the rumors and the swirling news and all of this about why it didn't work out and how it didn't work out. And even though he was a top 4 pick, did they rush him into it because of that and whatnot? I think you could be seeing something very similar there with McCarthy, and that's why they brought in Murray. So I think it is going to be McCarthy that gets the starting job. Honestly, I'm not the biggest Kyler fan, but I don't even know that McCarthy should be beating him out. That, with all that being said, I think KOC is creative enough. I think he was snake bitten a little bit last year with what was going on with Wentz and all that other stuff. And he just couldn't get him rolling enough. And he had offensive line issues, injuries, things like that. So it'll be interesting, but I think it's McCarthy that takes the job. Murray might get him a run for his money, though.
So I looked this up for you here quick, Tyler. So this is not good for Kyler Murray. Darrisaw 6'5", Jackson 6'5", Brandel, their center, 6'7", right guard 6'6", right tackle 6'7". So certainly not helping. JJ McCarthy's not. I didn't look up JJ's height, but he's no.
He's not tall either.
We're talking about how tall people are. He's like, he's 6'2". So he's okay. He's not 5'9". That's certainly something. But definitely some trees up there in front blocking for those fellas.
Hey, Kyler, keep that Xbox Live subscription going. You're gonna have time, my friend.
If Kyler Murray goes under center, he's going to be able to just rest his head on that center's back to take it.
Yeah. The internet is undefeated on those like Kyler GIF meme video things right now. Like all these small children walking in. Like, oh man, I get down in the rabbit hole on X of just these Kyler Murray troll videos is something.
You know who makes those, right? You are aware of how those are made?
At Grok.
AI. AI
AI
is a big
slop.
part of those. It's AI slop.
If you didn't answer on X, go ahead in the comments and vote for if you are in favor or against AI videos. Again, we appreciate you taking some time out of your Saturday. We're going to go ahead and recap NFL free agency next week. We ran out of time this evening, but we'll get into some of that once all the deals are finalized more throughout this weekend and next week. I'm sure there'll be even more signings. So we'll get into that. We ran out of time, but again, thanks for being with us this evening. You can follow our ALO Leagues on X, Tyler, Mr. Diesel 31, TSP Booker, TSP Kevin, Duffy. Hopefully we'll see you next week. We'll at least be following along with all that Arkansas Razorbacks March Madness content. So anyway, hit that subscribe button on YouTube. We appreciate you guys. And as always, we'll be here next Saturday, 6 p.m. plus or minus, usually on the plus. So anyway, peace out, guys.